Good evening. The April 23rd meeting of the Longview City Council is now called to order. Tonight's meeting is being conducted via teleconference to keep with Governor Greg Abbott's Order GA-14 to help slow the spread of coronavirus. We thank you for your understanding. We will now have roll call. Due to the format of this meeting, we'll begin tonight with a roll call to confirm all members of City Council are present and able to participate in our considerations. Council members, when I call your name and district, will you please respond with an affirmative if you're present. Ed Moore, District 1.
Present.
Jonas Noddy, District 2.
Present.
Ray Wade, District 3.
Present.
Chris Nishihara, District 4.
Here.
David Wright, District 5.
Present.
Steve Pirtle, District 6.
Present.
We'll also have a roll call with city staff. City Manager Keith Bonds.
I'm here.
City Attorney Jen Finley.
Here.
City Secretary Angie Shepard.
Here.
Well, thank you, council and staff, for being here. Another telemeeting, and I appreciate your consideration and your efforts. I know this is difficult on everybody, but we're doing what we're supposed to do, and we're going to continue to do that as long as we need to. And I appreciate your attendance. We'll get to citizen comment. Those who wish to participate in citizen comment tonight, we're invited to access this meeting through a link to register with the teleconferencing application. Sean Hare, the city's media and tourism manager, is coordinating the technical side of the meeting and will assist with moderating the citizen comment portion of our meeting. When you're called to speak, you'll be unmuted and given one opportunity to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. Please begin by stating your name and address for public record. Sean, do we have any residents who want to speak tonight?
We do not have anyone logged in to speak tonight.
Thank you, Sean. We are now to consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda will be considered together unless there are any items the council member wishes to pull off for separate discussion. If so, please indicate so at this time. We'll move to a vote. Excuse me.
I make a motion we approve.
Second.
Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. We'll now conduct a roll call vote. I'll ask each council member in turn for their vote. When asked, please indicate by saying yes or no. Ed Moore, District 1.
Aye.
Nona Snoddy, District 2.
Aye.
Ray Wade, District 3.
Yes.
Chris Nishihara, District 4.
Yes.
David Wright, District 5.
Yes.
Steve Pirtle, District 6.
Yes.
Andy Mack, Mayor, vote yes. I forgot who I was. City Secretary Angie Shepard, will you not confirm the record of the vote?
And I do need to know who seconded the motion.
Nona Snoddy.
All right, Nona, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The motion was made by Steve Pirtle, seconded by Nona Stoddy. Motion passes. Consent items pass 7-0.
Thank you, Ms. Angie. We'll now move to action item A, consider a resolution authorizing and directing the city manager or the city manager designee to execute any necessary documents for the purchase of 4 transit buses. Mr. Bonds.
Yes, this is a grant that we're receiving as part of a $3.8 million overall grant. Transit is going to be able to access due to the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, also known as the CARES Act, passed by U.S. Congress recently to stimulate our economy. So we're going to do our part, purchase 4 buses for $534,816. We're going to use the same purchasing opportunity that we've had the last, I think, 2 rounds of bus purchases, and that's the state of Oklahoma's cooperative purchasing program. I'd like to point out there's no match, and we're just excited to start spending part of the $3.8 million that's going to be available to us.
Does any council have any comments, questions for Mr. Bonds?
Mr. Bonds, it's Dave. I was just interested to know, are these diesel or natural gas, or how are we going on that?
These are diesel-powered buses.
Okay.
If there's no other questions, we'll move to a vote. I'll entertain a motion.
Ed Moore, move to approve.
Second.
That's David Wright, second.
That's David Wright, second.
Thank you. There's a first and a second. We'll now conduct a roll call vote. Please answer by saying yes or no. Ed Moore, District 1.
Yes.
Nona Snoddy, District 2.
Yes.
Ray Wade, District 3.
Yes.
Chris Nishihara, District 4.
Yes.
David Wright, District 5.
Yes.
Steve Pirtle, District 6.
Yes.
I'm Mayor Andy Mack. Yes. City Secretary Angie Shepard, will you now confirm the record of the vote?
Yes, motion was made by Councilmember Moore, seconded by Dave Wright. Resolution passes 7-0.
Thank you, ma'am. Move to action item B, consider a resolution authorizing and directing the city manager or the city manager's designee to execute a memorandum of understanding between the East Texas Council of Governments and the city of Longview to operate a police academy. Chief Bishop, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Mayor Matt, council members, Mr. Bonds, good evening. This action item before you tonight is for your consideration to allow for a signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Longview Police Department and the East Texas Council of Governments. On March 23, 2020, the East Texas Police Academy was scheduled to start a basic peace officer course for new recruits, in which we would have enrolled 8 new recruits to obtain their basic peace officer academy training. Because of COVID-19 and the restrictions that were beginning to emerge, the start date of the academy was pushed back to April 27th of 2020. On April 3rd of 2020, I received notification from the East Texas Police Academy that Kilgore College had canceled all academic classes on campus, including all police training, until further notice. These cancellations were further extended last week by Governor Abbott in Executive Order GA-16, having schools and institutions of higher education remain temporarily closed for the remainder of the school year. Fortunately for our agency, we hold a training academy certificate through the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement that would allow us to conduct our own 19-week basic peace officer course in-house. After consulting with the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement, I have decided to pursue this route without a firm commitment as to when police training could resume at our local college campuses. We will have 5 additional new recruits from Jacksonville Police Department attend this academy as well. After consulting with the East Texas Council of Governments Director of Public Safety, they have agreed to reimburse our agency $1,000 for each of the recruits that successfully complete our academy to help defray the costs associated with this academy. Tonight, I ask for your approval of this item, and I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Chief Bishop, might I ask you a question? Even before the COVID-19 issued all the restrictions we've had, didn't Kilgore College decrease their budget to the East Texas Police Academy this year?
I'm sorry, Mayor. Can you repeat that question?
Didn't Kilgore College decrease their budget to the East Texas Academy this year, even before this occurred?
That I don't know.
Okay, I heard they decreased their budget and the number of classes offered, but I wanted confirmation of that.
Yeah, that I can't answer.
Okay. Any other questions of Chief Bishop?
Would this be a possible ongoing thing in the future with other towns?
I think this agreement with the East Texas Council of Governments is a one-time deal for this training that we're about to do. I think we would have to evaluate this after we're through and make that decision at a later date.
Okay.
So Chief, do we know do we know the cost per participant of the academy?
Well, we will get reimbursed $1,000 for each participant from that. It usually runs, we're still in the process of setting this up, anywhere between $500 and $600 a person that's attending for copies, booklets,
Okay.
all the equipment that they need to participate in the academy.
Okay.
So it's a positive action for us then.
Yes, sir.
I mean, in
Sounds
the
like a good
future,
opportunity.
it could be a positive action for us in the future for future employees then.
If it's cost effective for us, yes.
Okay.
Chief,
Any other
it's Dave. Did EdCog volunteer this money to us, or did we go and ask them for it, or how did that work?
I sent a letter to the Director of Public Safety over there. Normally, when we send recruits to the East Texas Police Academy, EdCog covers a portion of their tuition through a grant. So I sent a letter to them asking if they would help fund ours. They contacted the governor's office and then notified me that they were willing to help us with $1,000 per student that goes through the academy.
So they didn't volunteer it. It was because of the initiative we took that we'd gotten that funding.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Good job, Chief.
Great forward thinking, Chief. I appreciate that
Yeah.
very much. Council, is there a motion?
I make a motion that we approve.
Second?
That's Steve Purtle and Ona Snoddy. Motion is made in their second. I will now conduct a vote. Please say yay or nay. Ed Moore, District 1.
Yes.
Ona Snoddy, District 2.
Yes.
Ray Wade, District 3.
Yes.
Kristen Shahar, District 4.
Yes.
David Wright, District 5.
Yes.
Steve Purtle, District 6.
Yes.
I, Mayor Andy Mack, vote yes. Ms. Shepherd, will you confirm the record of the vote?
Yes, sir. Motion was made by Council Member Steve Purtle, seconded by Nona Snoddy. Resolution passes 7-0.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chief Bishop.
Thank you.
We'll now have an update on our COVID-19. Last week, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed several new executive orders and created a strike force to reopen Texas businesses. The state and federal government are working hard to make the best choices to get Americans and Texans back to work while keeping in place the social distancing practices necessary to reduce the spread of the coronavirus. Governors announced the reopening of non-essential retail stores that are able to function as a retail to-go manner. This means that stores can open if they put in place hygiene practices for their workers and offer delivery or curbside services. However, customers will not be allowed inside the stores. This goes into effect tomorrow, Friday, April 24th. This is great news for several of our local businesses. Following those guidelines, the public library, Longview Public Library, will reopen for curbside pickup services only beginning tomorrow, April 24th. Curbside service will be made available to anyone with a good standing library account. The service will be available Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. More details are available at the library website. Looking ahead, on Monday, April 27th, the Governor Abbott is expected to provide additional information about plans to reopen Texas businesses. Locally, we will follow the state and federal guidance provided while taking into account the reality of the situation here. His executive order is still in place until the 30th of this month, and he will give us directives on the 27th. I don't know what his directives will be. We will have to wait and see on that, but I'm confident our local economy will recover. I also recognize that it will not be immediate or without hardship. I particularly want to thank everyone for making sacrifices for the greater good of the public health, including our healthcare professionals, first responders, essential workers, business leaders, schools, teachers. Every individual has stayed home and followed the guidelines because we will get through this together. In that, our update today, as of today at 5 p.m., we have 41 reported cases of COVID-19 in Longview. These are Longview numbers only, not Gregg County. We also have 25 reported recoveries of those 41, which means we have 16 active cases in Longview right now, which I see as great news. We had 0 reported new cases yesterday, 0 reported new cases on Tuesday, 1 reported new case on Monday, and we have 2 today. So we've had 3 new cases for the week. We've had a number of recoveries, which is fantastic. And the biggest statistic is we still have 0 deaths in the city of Longview. I thank God for that and for the guidance he's given us to help us through this process, because for everyone that's sick and has this disease, the outcome is in his hands. And I just appreciate that being upon our city. And I hope that we'll all continue to do what we need to do to help those around us and those that you don't even know. And so, we will, like I say, wait and see what comes about on the 27th, and then we will make our plans after the 30th when his executive order does expire. And when his executive order expires, our shelter in place also expires. And so we will then decide if we need to continue or open up as directed by the governor and those around us. So, Council, I just want to take the time to say to each one of you all, I appreciate your support. I appreciate what you do in your districts. I appreciate the guidance that you're giving to each one of your districts, because I get reports every day on how wonderful y'all are. I want to thank city staff for being so available to everyone at this point in time and helping everyone and bending over backwards, in my opinion, to make this work, because this is a hardship on every single one of us. None of us like this, but it's not in our hands. And so we have to do what we can do and realize it's gonna run its course. Let me just say something to everyone who might be listening and to those out there. And to all you council, how much I want you to know how much I appreciate you. But you know, I have a zillion people hitting me every day with texts and emails and phone calls, and I'm sure you all do too. But one thing that stuck in my mind last week, when someone made a comment to me, it said, you know, this virus is horrible. It's something we can't control, but it's going to come and it's going to go. Sooner or later, it's going to pass. But what won't pass is some of the things that are being said, the loss of respect, the loss of friendships, the loss of support when we say things we may or may not mean. So be careful what you say to others and how you say it, because everyone is entitled to an opinion on this. Everyone has the right to have an opinion, and we don't have to always agree, and it's okay not to agree, but it's not okay to get ugly. And so let's be respectful of each other, know that we're all in this together and that we all want the same thing, that's to return back to normal. I hope we do so in a healthy, safe, and very quick way. And I hope we continue to have 0 deaths, because that is the most important statistic of all. And if we can continue this path, then I think we will win. And so I appreciate you all. I appreciate your continued vigilance for our community. You all 6 of you all, and everyone in the city staff have shown your mustard, and I appreciate that very much. You can find out all the news about coronavirus in Longview at longviewtexas.gov/coronavirus. City staff are keeping it up to date with links from official sources and all the local information you need to know about how it's affecting the city. While city offices are closed, the good news is you can conduct almost all your business with the city by phone or online. For a list of online services, just go to longviewtexas.gov/online. Council, any questions or any comments before we adjourn?
Nope.
Very well. Thank you all so much for your time. Thank you, Longview. God bless you all. We're adjourned.